English shorthand dictation number 246. Dictation speed is 140 words per minute. Ready? Start. Honorable Speaker Sir, I have gone through the written reply given by the Honorable Minister. I must say with respect that it is really an evasive reply. Just now he said that the data is dynamic. Somewhere it is static. Then he has not said where that data is. Now I tell you the data. 1 out of 10 children is in child labor in India. It is rising for the first time in 20 years. 9 million more children are at risk of being forced into child labor by the end of this year as a result of the pandemic. The closure of 1.5 million schools due to the pandemic and lockdowns in India has impacted 247 million children enrolled in primary and secondary schools and added to the risk of many of them slipping into child labor and unsafe migration. I understand that there are certain acts. There is no doubt that if these acts are fully implemented, these children cannot go into it. But these children also need to earn a livelihood, at least for their parents. Now, what is the scheme? What do you want to do? If you want to stop child labor and want that they should not go to job at all, then you have to give substitutes to the families of those children. What have you done for that purpose? This is what I would like to know from the Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker Sir, I thank you for giving me the privilege of asking a question on tourism. It is good that in our country tourism is increasing, but one of the most important factors which reduces the tourists is the fare that the airlines are charging. There should be a control on airfare, whether it is Kashmir, whether it is Ladakh, or whether it is other parts of India which are full of tourist spots, so that people in the country can afford to come to these destinations. Secondly, I would like to know about the possibility of reducing the charges that are imposed by the government on the tourists in various sectors like hotels and other things. Does the government of India have any plan to reduce these charges so that more people can afford to come into these destinations? If that happens, it will give a boost to the tourism sector in India. Sir, the Honorable Minister has given a very long reply, but I do not know if he has studied the question before giving the reply. The question relates to negative growth in the tourism sector. The Minister's reply deals with how they are developing rural tourism and wellness tourism without taking into consideration the holistic policy of tourism. I would like to know one thing from the Honorable Minister. You said that there is a negative growth. What are the numbers in terms of tourists from abroad in the last 3 years? What is your target for the coming financial year in respect of the foreign tourists? One of my honorable friends said that fares are very high. A new thing is happening now. Today I saw in the newspapers that domestic airfares will go up and foreign airfares will come down. What is the policy? Does the government have any policy to raise the number of tourists traveling within the country or coming from outside? I appreciate that the Honorable Minister is concerned about the well-being of tourists, but he has also got to pay some attention to the well-being of the people in India who have to run the services that tourists use. For example, in my state, the transporters who run tourist buses have been begging for the last 3 years to reduce the tax by 30%. But nothing has been done by the state government or the central government. Now the result is that these people are selling their tourist buses because they cannot make a living. Now we are talking about improving tourism. What will happen to those people who are working in tourism sector in India? They need to be helped at a time when unemployment is high and economy is going down. We are not doing enough to support our people in order to be able to welcome tourists more effectively. Sir, on behalf of my party, I congratulate the central government especially the foreign minister who has brought all our students from Ukraine to Chennai. Sir, a new problem arises now. These students are not able to complete their medical courses as they had to come back to Tamil Nadu and other places in India. I would like to ask whether the students hailing from India who had gone to Ukraine for further studies could now be taken to Russia using our friendly relations with the Russian government. Is it possible to have them admitted in Russian universities so that they can continue their studies? The same subjects are dealt with in Russian universities. The foreign minister may kindly answer in affirmative because lives of these students are going to be adversely affected. Most of the students who have gone from Tamil Nadu are wards of salaried people. Most of them are poor students. Their parents have put their lifetime earnings into their medical education. We do not know when things will become normal. So I am making another demand to the government that these students may be relocated in Indian colleges. The tuition fee of medical education is very high in our country. It should be feasible for them to get admission in the colleges. The government should devise a mechanism for all the students who have come back as a one-time case. They should be relocated in various colleges in our country. The government should also take steps to build more medical colleges. This will also encourage the states. It is also a fact that thousands of Indian students returning from Ukraine are facing the issue of rehabilitation. The course of events in Ukraine has dashed their hopes and dreams. It is difficult to predict how long it will take for things to return to normalcy in the country and how long it will take for the stranded students at various stages of education to complete their education. So, I request the government of India to let the Indian students from Ukraine complete their MBBS and pursue other streams in Indian universities. If they are given admission in Indian colleges, their careers will be saved. Honorable Chairman, sir, in my constituency, the conflict between human life and wildlife is a big issue. Recently, 3 persons at 3 different locations were attacked by the tigers within 1 month. All of them lost their lives. So, people's lives are at risk. As per the government's advisory, if any direction has to be given or a final decision has to be taken, the authority concerned of the state government has to go to the area and discuss with the collector, the Gram Panchayat and the district forest officer. It takes a number of days to arrive at the final decision. In the meanwhile, we may lose innocent lives. In my opinion, whenever a new advisory is to be issued, the district collector and the district forest officer, in consultation with the Gram Panchayat, should take the decision as to whether such an animal has to be removed from the area or relocated to some other area. At present, the authority to take such a decision is with the government. The government official has to go to the remote areas. My constituency is 300 kilometers away from Chennai. This whole process takes minimum 15 days, and in the meanwhile, a lot of people may be losing their lives. So, this is a serious issue which must be addressed properly. A new advisory may be issued in this regard. Mr. Chairman, sir, I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Labour Minister to the ESI ceiling limit. Sir, the Employees State Insurance Scheme is one of the major social security schemes which is benefiting lakhs of workers in our country, both in the organized sector and the unorganized sector. However, it is quite unfortunate to note that the wage ceiling limit for entitlement of ESI benefit scheme is rupees 21,000 per month.